Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us tonight for the Face It Live Q&A session presented by Fayette County Public Schools and the 16th District PTA. And of course, during this time, it is most important that our families and community stay engaged together and support each other. The Faces Show, this platform, it allows us to virtually have that real talk, build real partnerships, and allow for real ways for us to express ourselves and what we're feeling, exert our energy in a positive way, and be solution driven in all our approaches or whatever we're facing in our communities. With that said, I'm Melody Westerfield. I'm the FACE, the Family and Community Engagement Liaison, and I'm located at William Wells Brown Elementary School. And this Faces Show, we will focus on facing parent advocacy together. I have Penny Christian with me here today, and she will help our families understand how to do exactly that. And with that being said, Penny, please introduce yourself and tell the viewers who you are, where you work, and your job title.
Hi, Melody. Thank you. I am Penny Christian. I am 16th District PTA President, which is all of Fayette County's public schools and local unit PTAs. I have 4 children, 3 who are already out of Fayette County, but 1 who is a sophomore at Lafayette.
Penny,
Ma'am.
you are the 16th District PTA, aren't you?
I am kind of.
Okay, let's get right to it. What
Yes, ma'am.
exactly is advocacy? Tell us, what does that even mean? Break that down.
Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to give you if you were to Google advocacy, what would you see? You would see this. You would see the definition of advocacy is the act of speaking on behalf of or in support of another person, place, or cause.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of what we do, in terms of PTA, which is the largest and oldest children's advocacy organization in the country, we say this, that it is to speak on behalf of those who traditionally do not have a voice. Right? So when we talk about kids not having a voice, I mean, let's be honest, especially at the elementary and middle school level, kids are pretty much told what to do, and they don't necessarily have the opportunity to share if that's a good idea or a bad idea.
Right.
So, so that's what we do. That's what PTA does, but it's not just about PTA, right? It's what all parents and families can do and community members can do for any child or any children's group, subgroup that needs advocacy or to be spoken in support for.
That's good. That's okay. That's really good information, and I like how you put it too. You know, a lot of times people are being told what to do, but you know, sometimes you're just not being heard. I like that a lot. So why do we do it? So why do we advocate?
Well, there are several reasons. One, we do it to advocate and advance equity, and you know, equity is a buzz term. Right? Everybody in education talks about equity. And for years, we used the term equality. And equality means you treat everyone the same, right? But when it comes to education, when it comes to our kids in school, when it comes to our babies in certain zip codes, equality is not what we want. Equity is what we strive for. So why do you advocate? You advocate for equity. Let's say you have a situation in your child's elementary school where you have a gifted teacher who only will identify certain people in certain classrooms. As a parent, I've had 3 kids identified as GT. I would be a little bit upset about that. And as an advocate, just either for my child or every other child that looks like my child in that building, I would have to go to someone and say, listen, my child deserves that opportunity just as much. It's not about being treated equally. It's about having that equitable opportunity for the same type of education.
Okay, so say I'm a parent and, you know, I'm trying to figure out, well, you know, when do I need to actually step up and, you know, advocate for my child? Like, when do I know I need an advocate? So, you know, tell our parents, you know, when do they need an advocate?
When your radar goes off. What does that mean? For me and my husband, like I said, we have 3 olders. They're all out in the world now. But the second one in 1st grade, very, very, very cripplingly shy, but tested off the charts, especially for reading. In 1st grade, she was reading on 5th grade level. And the teacher would remove her from the quote unquote top reading group because she wouldn't read out loud. So we found this out in a conference. She said, you know, we know she can do it, but she's not reading out loud. And if you don't read out loud, you can't be in the highest reading group. So we're just going to drop her down to the second one. We don't want to push her.
Wow.
Our response was, you're absolutely going to push her. You're going to push her more than we're going to push her, because you know what? Technically, you can't reach the expectations that we have. So we're not going to let you pigeonhole her. We're not going to let you take this little brown girl who's quiet and punish her for being a little brown girl who's quiet, right? So that's, our radar went off. We absolutely felt that there was something wrong with what that teacher's approach. So when do you advocate? When your radar goes off. You also advocate when something just doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right. If you're in the building and you start to see some things, you should say, that doesn't look like it's supposed to be that way, right? So do I have a conversation with my child's teacher, with the counselor, with the principal? I see something that's not right. I feel that it's time that I step in, right? And another thing you do is, it's when you gain something you need. If there's a need in the building, and it could be this, it doesn't have to be anything negative. You know what? This school needs another crosswalk. How do I do that? I now, as PTA president, gather my board and say, we need to address this. We need to talk to the membership and say, let's start a movement to ask the principal, who in turn is going to have to talk to the district, right, about that new crosswalk. So it's not always a negative so much as it's just a need. And that's when you know you need to advocate, when that need is going to make things equitable, when it's going to make the kids safer, when it's going to do whatever it is it's going to do to make things better. That's when you know.
This is good. I have an extra question that I'm gonna have to
write
down.
Go for it.
Okay, so if I'm a parent, how do I begin to do that? What are my steps?
Whew. Well, the first thing you do is learn your story. And what do I mean by that? Everyone's advocacy journey began with one event, right? With us, it was my daughter in first grade. With someone else, it could be when you found out your child has to have an IEP, right? What's your story? If you can't identify your story, you're not necessarily going to be focused on what that advocacy is and what your needs are, right? So be able to tell your story, share your story, because everyone has one. It's just a matter of where you are when yours begins. That leads straight into the next part, which is much more important, is identify your ask. What is your ask? What do I want from you? Whoever this person or organization is that I have to address. What do I want? What's my ask? I need to be able to clearly and succinctly be able to say, Principal so-and-so, I think we need to have the district come in and repair these water fountains. Okay, if that's your need, my ask is we repair the water fountains. My ask can't be, I need you to fix the water fountains, we need a new playground, I need a third teacher down here who's going to speak Spanish, oh, and by the way, right? Because something's going to get lost, and then you're not going to have a win. Because the goal is to win. And when I say win, I mean you get what you want out of this conversation or this advocacy journey, right? So how? Know who to ask. That means understanding the hierarchy. Was that the question?
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay. That was who do we go to? Like, who do they go to? Who do they go
to? And that's important. And that's why it's important to know your hierarchy, your district hierarchy, right? And, you know, PTA, district PTA, for the last couple of years, I've been doing a training just on that, just on knowing the hierarchy. If I have a child in a classroom and I'm really concerned that I don't think they're being challenged academically, well, we don't contact Manny, right? We don't necessarily go to the principal even. Have we had that first conversation with the school, with the teacher, with the classroom teacher? Well, if you don't like what the teacher says, or if the teacher says, you know what, it's the curriculum, I really don't have any control over it, well, now we contact the principal, right? So you have to know who to talk to, because you don't want to waste anyone else's time, and you don't want to dilute your ask by wasting time talking to someone who you know cannot help you. If they can't help you or advance your advocacy, you need not address them. Yes.
What if they want to, but the confidence and the comfort level isn't there?
Oh, I'm glad you call me. No. Okay, first thing, call me. Advocacy, I need people to understand that advocacy is not everyone going to Frankfurt and asking for change. Advocacy can be at any level with as many people as you need, right? I can advocate, we have people in PTA who advocate comfortably just for their child, right? But they can share their story with someone else and empower another parent who didn't necessarily feel that they could. I have warriors in there who can go to Frankfurt and have a conversation with the legislator and say, hey, listen, I need you to hear what I'm saying and I need some change. But you also have everything in the middle, right? So if you're not comfortable and you're not sure what to ask for, I'm only half kidding when I say call me. Because, go ahead.
No, these are the options. These are the resources.
Yes.
And, I'm going to ask you for your information in a second,
Absolutely.
put that out there. Yeah, go on, keep
Yeah.
going. I don't want to.
Every parent, I shouldn't say parent because we don't know what the situation is, right? But everyone who has a child that needs something has a voice. Everyone doesn't feel they have the capacity to share that voice or that voice will be heard, but you all have something to offer. And that's the first thing we try and get parents and families to understand, is that your voice matters, right? So if you're not comfortable, if you don't think you have the confidence, or if you've had a situation that's not so pleasant, and it's stuck with you, you've had an experience and it did not go well, you need to know who to reach out to. PTA is always, 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 always willing to advocate for another child on behalf of anybody's child. I'll go to anybody's ARC meeting. I will email a principal on your behalf. I will email Manny. I will contact the Secretary of Education if I have to, if that's what the need has to be, right? But overall, the goal is not for us to do it for you. It's to empower you and have you be able to do this yourself. And that confidence is not always easy because a lot of times it's based on prior experiences. If you've never had a win, or if you've been fighting since that baby was in kindergarten and my child is now a junior in high school, and every year I have to fight for that ARC meeting, and every year I have to make sure that those accommodations are being met, and it's just not happening, it's frustrating, right? So confidence is a big deal, but don't feel obligated. Even my PTA local units, if you are a PTA president, don't feel obligated that you have to fight for every single kid in every single instance and situation, because you may not have the tools to do it. You may have to outsource it and find someone else who can fight that battle for you, right? So don't take on every battle. And if you're genuinely not confident and you genuinely don't know what to do, call me.
This is just great information. And as the family and engagement and community engagement liaison, I find myself being an advocate. So, you can advocate, because that's what I feel like I am, is I'm an advocate and I'm a bridge, building that gap, right?
Absolutely.
And so I guess maybe talk about encouraging those who, because I'm empowered to do that for the success of our children and our families. So, how do you engage other people to be an advocate for our families?
The first thing I do, whenever I do a presentation, though, first of all, if I have a PowerPoint, one of the first slides I have is of my 4 girls. They are my why. They are how I get into this, this long journey that I never saw coming, but they're why I do what I do, right? I can look at that picture and I know that each of them, I had to fight for them each in a different way, but I fought for each of them. So I tell people, identify your why as well, not just your ask, identify your why. Is it, when I was in school, I never had that teacher who would listen to me. I never had that connection. So am I going to, as an advocate, go into my child's building and say, you know what, this is what's important. I need someone, my child needs an ally in the building, right? Every child in the building should have they got to have a person, right? So if I have to try and encourage people, I have to, I should, but when I encourage people, there are 2 things that you need to remember. Your story is important. Everyone you surround yourself with has a story, right? And it's individual, Melody. No
It
2
really
stories
is.
are the same.
Oh my God, it really is. And and I say that because my why is because you be what you needed when you were younger.
Yes.
What you need, it's not even when you were younger or as you are being a woman or a man growing up, trying to be an adult, be what you need. Be what you needed, and advocate in that give back. So that why is really, really good. I really, really like that. I'm empowered right now to go out and run out and do some help at 6:45 right now. My last question to you is, what is your encouraging words for our family, especially surrounding advocacy, parent advocacy? Give some encouraging words and just, that boost of empowerment for them at this point.
you don't need me to fight. You've all got it in you. Every parent, every family, every cousin, every auntie, every grandmother that's raising a kid has it in them, right? And what's important, Dr. Karen Mapp, she wrote Beyond the Bake Sale. I encourage everyone who's ever in PTA to read Beyond the Bake Sale. She talks about this notion of funds of knowledge. Funds of knowledge means every family, nobody knows your kid more than the people that you live with or who know you, who are your blood. I shouldn't say blood because everybody's not blood, but your family, right? So what she says is that fund, you should be able, your school, your teacher, everyone should be able to tap into that fund and withdraw something about your child, right? So acknowledge that you have this fund and nobody knows your child better than you. Use it to your advantage. Always make sure that your child is empowered. Tell your kid, I have your back, but also teach them how to self-advocate. That really comes into play like around 5th grade, right? 5th to 6th grade. Self-advocacy is a huge, huge deal. And you'd be amazed how beautiful it is when you see your child advocate for themselves. So if I had to say something, your story matters, you matter, and you can make a difference. And it's not cliche to say that because there's something in every single schoolhouse in this district that needs something done.
Okay.
Right. And if you're that person, I say jump at it, be vulnerable, make yourself available.
Penny, I'm gonna just tell you right now, I don't know if anybody has told you lately, but you a dope person. I just need you to know that. You're awesome. So
bless you.
Penny, how can they contact you? How can the people contact you?
Okay, so my email is president@16thdistrictpta.org. And if you haven't liked the 16th District PTA Facebook page, please do so. We're on there all the time. We give lots of information, lots of resources. Quick plug for October 13th, as we have this virtual town hall meeting where we're going to have members from the Pritchard Committee. We're going to have National PTA President-elect Anna King. We're going to have some phenomenal people, someone from Ed Trust, and we're really going to have some frank conversations talking just about family engagement and equity, which follows straight into what we're doing here.
Right. And those of you who are watching right now, you can connect to that page through us as well. Penny is a wealth of knowledge for us, and so we appreciate the partnership that your organization provides. So we thank you. I thank you for the information, and thank everyone out there who's watching and joining us tonight during this Face It Live show, Parent Advocacy. Great information. We want to continue to stay connected with you all and continue to build a stronger community and support one another, especially our families. Please send us your pictures, videos, your encouraging words on how you are facing it together at home. And we will highlight that on our Face It Facebook Live platform, okay? You can do that by emailing us at faceit@fayette.kyschools.us, or you can text us at 859-903-5531. And so I need everybody to mark their calendars because we do have another Face It topic next week, October 15th at 6:30. During that time, we will be talking about facing my child's learning style. So again, facing my child's learning style, that's for you parents, so you can identify what your child's learning style is. We are so grateful to stay connected to you all, and remember, we are facing it together. See you all soon.